Hello, everyone. This is John Dolan from Fairfield County Test Prep. Today we're going to look at English, ACT English, misplaced modifiers. Seems like a strange creature. So the first one we're going to look at here is Barbie, the most popular doll in the 20th century, was created in post-war Germany. So what you have to think about is this information here necessary to the sentence, right? So if I was to scratch that out, could this be still a sentence? Barbie was created in post-war Germany. This is extra info. So in school, you might be used to putting parentheses around stuff like that. That's extra, right? That is one of the uses of the comma. One thing that's tested on the ACT is whether you can recognize stuff that's non-essential or positive information. So if you put a comma here and a comma here, that would suggest this information is not necessary. And the one that does that happens to be letter B here. We've got a comma and a comma to offset that it's non-essential information. All right, moving on. This one is the first Olympic gold medalist. The winner of the women's tennis singles tournament in 1900 was Charlotte Cooper. So anytime you see an introductory phrase clause like this that has a comma here, whatever comes directly after the comma should be the subject of what came before the comma. So this would suggest here that the winner was the first female Olympic gold medalist. Well, she was a winner, but she does have a name, so her name is Charlotte Cooper. So in that case, whatever comes directly after should be the person, the who of what came before. All right, Charlotte Cooper. All right, and then this one here, the woman walked toward the car carrying a heavy suitcase. So if you happen to be somebody that was learning English for the first time, you might interpret this as the car was carrying the heavy suitcase, right? Whereas you and I know that it was the woman that was carrying it. At least I hope so. So in this case, it could be the woman, could be the car. So to kind of clarify that ambiguity, you would write it in such a way that it was obvious that it was the woman carrying the suitcase, not the car. So here, carrying a heavy suitcase, who was carrying the heavy suitcase? The woman. The woman was carrying the heavy suitcase. So you notice how she comes directly after the comma here. The woman. It was the woman carrying the heavy suitcase. So that makes it clear who or what was carrying the suitcase. All right, this one, same thing. It's kind of, some of these are kind of funny in that if you were to really read them literally, excited about her birthday party, a slice. So a slice of cake was excited about the party. Little did it know it was going to be eaten shortly later. So in this case, whoever comes after the comma should be the subject of whoever's doing the action, right? So who was excited? It wasn't the slice, but it was Sharon who was excited. So Sharon comes directly after the comma. Sharon. And then a little bit of humor again. Each broken window biking past the abandoned house was clearly visible. You and I know what they mean, but if you were to read this closely, you might be confused. Was it the broken windows that were biking, or was the person that was biking? Who was biking? It was the person, the boy that was biking. So you want to kind of clear that up. So we know here letter B would obviously suggest that it was the broken windows that were biking. This one, it could be as he biked past the abandoned house, each broken window was clearly visible. And biking past the abandoned house, each broken window, which should suggest that the windows were biking. So to make it clearer, it's like as he biked past the house, just to show that it was a person rather than a window. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see how we did. All right. Yay! All right, so obviously green is good. Green is always good. All right, so we got all of those right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you learned something from it. And